Welcome to our electric car series on the Shortanzi channel. Today we're embarking on an exciting deep dive into the Tesla Model Y. Now this isn't just any electric SUV, it was the world's best-selling car overall in 2023. We've sifted through the latest reviews, owner experiences, everything really to give the most important insights from its, thrilling performance to what it's actually like to live with day to day. Get ready for some surprising facts and maybe a few aha moments, all tailored for you. So let's unpack this car's immediate impact first. The power, the torque, what makes it stand out. Reviewers often talk about this unique feeling for an SUV. We're talking 0-60, 4.8 seconds for the long range, and the performance version, even quicker, like 3.3 seconds. That's properly fast.
It really is. And what's truly fascinating, I think, is how it delivers that explosive thrust while being almost completely silent. That instant torque, it's a real revelation for a lot of drivers, especially coming from petrol or diesel. And crucially, you've got that low center of gravity, because the battery's in the floor. That helps it feel incredibly planted, stable, even if there's a bit of body roll, which you'd expect. The steering's also remarkably precise. It makes it feel surprisingly sharp, quite agile for an SUV this size. It's definitely no slug, and that immediate response is a huge part of its appeal, I'd say.
Okay, that incredible thrust sounds exhilarating, yeah. But thinking about the everyday drive, what about comfort? Refinement. Have those reviews seen a real shift compared to, say, the earlier Model Ys?
Oh, absolutely. The feedback suggests, a night and day improvement in ride quality. It's much better. And that's down to some pretty extensive changes they made to the suspension. We're talking new dampers, new springs, and actually a new die-cast rear floor section.
Die-cast floor. What difference does that make?
Well, it's basically a single large molded component. It massively boosts the structural rigidity, and that translates directly into less noise, less harshness felt inside the cabin. Makes a big difference. Plus, they've added acoustic glass too, which, helps quieten things down further.
Right, makes sense. And stepping inside, it's still got that famous minimalist look, right? Most things on the big screen.
That's right. The 15.4-inch touchscreen is still central command, but it's not quite as stark as it maybe once was. Newer models have these subtle but quite impactful additions, like new ambient lighting, and the materials, the finishes, they feel noticeably better. Adds a bit more of a classier feel, definitely.
Okay, and good news for some, the indicator stock is back. I know that was a point of contention.
Yes, a very welcome return for many drivers.
Plus, rear passengers get their own little screen now. An 8-inch one for climate and entertainment.
They do, yeah. Nice touch for keeping everyone happy back there.
And beyond the tech, practicality seems like a huge win here. Massive cargo space.
Huge. With the seats folded down, you're looking at, 2,138 liters? It's seriously spacious, and you still got the front trunk. Super handy for charging cables or, smaller bags.
Definitely practical. Okay, let's talk range. Always a big one for EV buyers. The Long Range AWD rated up to 387-mile WLTP, which sounds impressive on paper.
It is, and WLTP is generally seen as a more realistic measure than older standards.
But what about real-world figures? And the big question, winter driving. That's often an anxiety.
Yeah, it's a valid concern. Real-world tests often put it around, say, 327 miles for the long range, which is still very usable. And regarding winter, the owner feedback from colder places is actually quite reassuring. The efficiency loss seems typically in the range of 10 to 30%, not the 50% drop people sometimes fear, especially if you use features like preconditioning the battery and cabin while plugged in, and the heat pump helps a lot too.
Okay, so manageable losses, not catastrophic, and charging.
Charging is another strong point. It peaks at 250 kilowatts on a compatible charger, like Tesla's Superchargers. That means you can add, say, 10 to 80% charge in roughly 15 to 20 minutes, which is really quick. And the Supercharger network itself, that remains a massive advantage. It's reliable, it's convenient, a real differentiator.
That network is definitely key. But what about the car itself? Overall ownership, reliability. There were some murmurs about build quality on earlier models. Has that changed?
The general consensus now is that build quality has significantly improved in the newer models being produced. Those earlier concerns about panel gaps and things seem largely addressed. Service experiences like getting loaner cars can sometimes be a bit of a mixed bag depending on location, but owners generally report really high confidence in the car's dependability, and they really appreciate the very low routine maintenance. That's a big long-term benefit, saving money and hassle.
Okay, so improved build, reliable, low maintenance. Sounds positive.
Absolutely. And if you tie this all together, look at the bigger picture. the value proposition becomes quite clear. You look at the pricing starting around £44,990 in the UK, or $44,990 in the US before any tax credits. You're getting a compelling blend of, well, high performance, advanced tech, and really impressive practicality for that money. It manages to be a remarkably well-rounded package, which is rare.
So when you factor all that in, the performance, the better ride, the space, that charging network, what is it that really makes it stand out? What's the sort of secret sauce that made it the world's best-selling car?
I think the secret sauce is really that whole package, the holistic experience, if you like. It's not just a car, it's more like a connected platform these days. It delivers on those core EV promises, instant torque, low running costs, quiet driving, but it also integrates so well with arguably the best charging infrastructure out there. Then you add the continuous software updates, which keep the car feeling fresh and add features over time. And now that evolving build quality has brought it to a point where it's just a highly reliable, practical, and desirable package. It's that unique blend, I think, cutting-edge tech that feels accessible, the ecosystem around it, and that steady refinement. It just hits a sweet spot for a really broad range of buyers.
It really sounds like a car that evolves, almost with its owners, not just a static thing you buy. What stands out to you most about this impressive vehicle? Thinking about everything we've covered, we've only really scratched the surface today, but the Model Y is clearly a vehicle redefining what driving means in this electric age. Hopefully this deep dive is giving you plenty to think about. Yes, we have come to the end of our Shorthandsy podcast today. Don't forget to subscribe to Shorthandsy channel and like our video. See you in the next episode.